Am I racist? The answer is yes. Uh-huh. Uh, oh. Oh, it's the title of a movie? Oof. Matt Walsh has made another mockumentary. Well, no. No, because What is a Woman was a documentary. This one is more of a mockumentary. It's meant to parody Borat. It's meant to be, le funny meme movie, except it's not really funny. It's more awkward and scary and creepy. Well, it's meant to scare you. It's meant to, alarm you at just how dense a lot of people in academia are nowadays. I think it was charming in what it was trying to do. He's very good at setting up people to just speak. Like, he doesn't spend the movie calling people crazy or pointing at them and laughing. He asks them a question and then, parrots what they say back to them, and then they sort of dig their own grave and lay down in it like this. It's a very, methodical process he does, and it's okay. It's relatively like every other Daily Wire Plus movie. They made Run, Hide, Fight, Shut In, Terror on the Prairie, What is a Woman, Lady Ballers, and then Am I Racist? Everything else listed here is coming out. TBD on that, not that I care, because much like my father said after this movie, I'm pretty much dealing myself out. I was promised a higher caliber of content when they started cracking out the creativity here, and that so far they failed to deliver. It sells itself as like a comedy, but it's not really funny. It's more like awkward humor, because he's putting these weird people on the spot. I don't know what his actual stance on racism is, but I know his stance is that the majority of the rage bait and the fear mongering is coming from these grifters in our society, which preaching to the choir on that one, because most people kind of know that already. Yeah, it's honestly, it's not that shocking, it's not that awe-inspiring, it's definitely not, it's not saying anything that hasn't been said before, which I guess is my biggest criticism of it. Yes, it points this out, but it also fails to account for or mention the fact that while racism is not the immediate terrorist level threat that a lot of government figures would have you believe, it's still there, it's still real, and it's still happening. Sure, just because hate crimes are not happening as fast as much as the media says they are doesn't mean they're not happening at all, I don't know, it just feels kind of strange that he would leave out any real stats about it. There's one instance where he's interviewing a guy who wrote a book about hate crime hoaxes, and that guy talks about stats once, but that's really it. So I don't know what kind of message he's trying to send, if any. Maybe don't believe the grift. He's trying to separate the pompous academics, the stuck-up grifters, and everyone else living in La La Land, that lower majority percentage of people. He's trying to separate them from the everyman, everyone else. He kind of succeeds because he interviews, regular people, everyday people. He literally just goes to small town places and people, tracks down people who are stereotyped as the most racist or the most racially affected, or men and women who are of African descent living in the most racist areas, and he tries to run the propaganda that the average anti-racist influencer runs by them. He tries to run it by those people, those regular people, and they all go, "The hell are you talking about? What do you mean?" He seemed like a really awesome guy. He interviewed this black man who came and started a business here in the 70s, got married, started a family, and the dude said he had 53 grandchildren, which that made me and my parents all gasp in unison. We were like, 53? How many kids you have, bro? He was running his parody character by the guy, and the guy wasn't responding to it anyway. He was just like, "What do you mean?" "No, I don't. America's not racist. Great country. I don't feel that way. What are you talking about?" And it just goes to show that all those weird people like Robin DiAngelo, author of a book called, I think it was White Fragility. She's also the one person from any interviews in this movie who's actually like made a statement about how like offended she was that she was misguided, which, yeah, you could make the argument that it's shady and shifty to lie to people to get them in your mockumentary. But at the same time, he did show a scene at the very beginning of the movie that was him genuinely trying to do this as himself, and people sussed out who he was very quickly, and he was like, oh, I need to break out the soy boy man bun, and the shitty overcoat of, like, pompous, soy-soaked academics. It is indeed a movie. There's a scene where he goes to a race to dinner thing where you pay two women thousands of dollars to belittle you for your whiteness. He couldn't get in because it's for women only and he's not a woman. So what he does is he pretends to be the help. And he's very good with his deadpan comedic timing. I'll give him that much. Because the two times I laughed were when he interrupted their speeches by tripping and dropping plates in the background. And I was like, okay, he's got his timing down. Now, if only his jokes themselves could actually be funny. If only anyone at the Daily Wire could hire competent writers. 5 out of 10. Worth one watch if you give a single damn about the subject. I don't. So, I never took the subject that seriously to begin with. I don't know what it looks like outside the Americas. Outside the US of A. In here, it is not hard to spot the grifts, so it's a bit like preaching to the choir from my perspective, which is why I don't really care about it, because I'm like, I see all the fakery, I see all the BS, so I have no trouble just casually ignoring it. So when he was pointing to it, he was like, here, look at the boil on the back of America. I'm like, yeah, I've walked past it like 11 times, I don't care. People will believe what they want to believe, and no propaganda-riddled mockumentary is going to change their minds. All it's going to do is reaffirm everyone on what they already think. I'm jumping off the Daily Wire hype train here, because they can't nail content like this. They should just stick to their podcasts. It's not because we are different politically, it's because your content is trash, Daily Wire. I'm sorry. I can't. Run, Hide, Fight was pathetically tone-deaf and laughably executed. Every other serious movie after that was more of the same. The Gina Carano Terror on the Prairie movie was laughably underwhelming. Lady Ballers was abysmal garbage. What Is a Woman was okay, I guess, but you missed everything that was good about that when you made this, so I'm under the impression you're never gonna actually learn what it takes to make good content, so I'm just gonna deal myself out here. Good luck to you guys. This movie is making money, so apparently you found your demographic. I hope you can keep it, though. That's the key here. You can create whatever content you want, but it only matters if you can keep your demographic. Find it and keep it.